Welcome everyone. My name is Rhonda. This is Yoga 1-2. As we make our way through our practice today, we're going to honor our own body and follow our own breath. So our practice may not be synchronized. We're allowing ourselves to let go of self-judgment and competition and just accepting the present moment. So you may find that you need to take modifications, or maybe you find the expression of your asanas going a little deeper than I'm guiding. Allowing yourself to take whatever you need in this practice. Throughout this practice today, we're just going to work on finding and feeling the sensation of presence. So focusing on our breath as we inhale and exhale through our nose, just taking a few moments before we make our way down to a child's pose. So just feel yourself coming inward. We find that centering breath as we inhale through our nose and we exhale right back out through our nose. Feeling the moment. Allowing ourselves to take all of that chatter that's fluttering through our mind and setting it off to the side of our mat. And as we continue with our breath, scanning our body, noticing where we're holding tightness and tension. We'll send the next inhale to any of those tight or tense areas. And use that exhale to melt that tension away. We're going to make our way down to child's pose by finding our big toes to touch, opening our knees wide, maybe as wide as our mat, sinking our hips and sits bones back toward our heels, extending our long arms long in front of us, releasing our forehead down toward our mat, and pressing our hands down into the mat and then pushing the mat away, sinking those hips toward the heels. And just inhale and exhale back out through your nose. Feel yourself expanding the back body as you inhale. Those ribs flower open. And then as you exhale, they knit back together. We feel our sits bones sinking deeper toward our heels and our thoracic spine elongating and opening up. We feel stable and secure here in our child's pose, one of the most basic poses, bringing us back to our early days, feeling safe. We'll take 3 more breaths here in our child's pose, starting to elongate that breath. We'll take 1 more big, deep inhale. And as we exhale, we'll walk our hands over to the right side of our mat to find some lateral flexion. And now as we breathe, we're opening up the left side body. Next inhale, we'll walk back to center. We'll pause for a full round of our breath. And then as you exhale, walk those hands over to the left side now. Opening up the right side. Next inhale, we'll walk back to center and just take a full round here of breath. Maybe elongating that exhale, sinking deeper down into your mat. We'll slowly walk our way up to our tabletop, hands and knees, aligning our wrists under our shoulders, knees under our hips. Lift that space between your shoulder blade and press into the shoelace part of your feet. We're going to flow through 4 cat and cows here. So as we exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, round that spine like an angry cat. And as we inhale, move through neutral, and lift the crown of your head, your chin, slide your shoulders back, tail points up. Flow with your breath as you exhale. Inhale the cow. 2 more. Last one. We'll meet back in our neutral tabletop. From this neutral tabletop, we're going to inhale and extend our right leg directly out from our hips. So we may need to dip that right hip, flex that right foot, and just feel strong here in our 3-legged table. Inhaling and exhaling. Now as we take our next exhale, we're going to round like that cat, bring our knee to our nose. Inhale and push the sole of the foot back and extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale and extend 1 more time. We're going to exhale and release that right knee to the floor. Just reestablish ourselves in our tabletop. Then we're going to inhale and extend that left leg, leveling those hips, feeling that core engagement, flexing that left foot. As we exhale, knee to nose, round. Inhale, press the sole of the foot back. Exhale, knee to nose and round. Inhale and extend back 1 more time. We're going to exhale and bring that left knee down. We're going to flow through 4 more cat and cows. So as we exhale, round again like that angry cat. Inhale. Find your flow. And after you take that 4th one, meet me in your tabletop. We're finding ourselves back in neutral, that tabletop. We're going to thread the needle. So we're going to inhale and reach our right arm to the sky, and we're going to flow. As we exhale, reach that right arm, tap that shoulder and ear. Inhale as you open. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale and open. And this time we're going to pause. Exhale and thread it through. Release that shoulder and ear. Gently press into that left hand to twist through our thoracic spine. Just finding our breath here. We're going to press into this left hand. Inhale as we open up and reach to the sky. Exhale as we bring that right hand down. Find our tabletop. We're going to take this on our left side. Inhale as we open that left arm to the sky. Exhale as we thread it through and tap. Release that shoulder and ear. Inhale up. Exhale, thread it through and tap. Inhale up. This time we're going to pause. Exhale and thread it through. Press into that right hand to find a little deeper twist. We're going to press into this right hand. Inhale, reaching that left arm to the sky. Exhale as we bring it back down to the floor. We're going to walk our hands slightly out in front of us and find a kneeling plank. So we'll bring our knees close together. We're going to point our elbows back toward our hips. Find a strong engagement in our core. And as we exhale, we're going to lower ourselves all the way to the mat, brushing our elbows along our ribs. We'll extend those feet. And we're just going to inhale, use our back muscles to lift up for a gentle cobra. Exhale as we come back down. Inhale as we push ourselves to kneeling plank. And then exhale as we shift ourselves back for child's pose. We're going to take 3 more of these half series flows. So inhale the kneeling plank. Exhale as you lower down. Extend those feet. Inhale up to cobra. Exhaling back down to neutral. Inhaling as you push yourself up. Exhaling to child pose. 2 more, your pace, your flow. And we'll meet in our child's pose. We're just going to take 5 breaths here in our child's pose. Our next inhale, we're going to inhale up to hands and knees. And we're going to find ourselves extending those feet back, finding a plank. So opening those fingers like the ray of the sun, lifting that space between our shoulder blades. We're reaching our heels and our crown in opposite directions, sliding our shoulder blades down our back, and just breathing. You can always drop to your knees. As we find our next exhale, we're going to hinge our hips and come to downward facing dog. So open our feet wider than our hips. Maybe just start to pedal those feet. Walk the dog. Sway your hips. Shake your head no. Shake your head yes. We're going to press down into those hands, push the mat away, slide our shoulder blades down our back, pull our belly button toward our spine, hinge deeper at our hips, and then sink those heels toward the floor and find 5 breaths. We're going to inhale our right foot high to that 3-legged down dog. We're going to exhale and bring that right knee to our nose, round like that cat. Inhale as we extend that foot back. Exhale, knee to nose and round. Inhale and extend back. One more time. Exhale, knee to nose and pause. We'll step that right foot between our hands and come down to a kneeling lunge, releasing that left knee to the floor. We can keep ourselves with our hands down on the floor, or we can walk our hands up to that right knee, aligning that knee over the ankle, pulling our inner thighs together, engaging our core, maybe inhaling and floating our arms overhead. We'll exhale, we'll pull our hands down through our heart center and pause for our inhale. Next exhale, we're going to twist through our right waist, hook that left elbow, pull our thumbs toward our heart center, and exhale as we twist. We're going to unravel. We're going to release those hands to the floor and just shift our hips back for a half split. You can always keep a bend in that right knee. And just elongate through your spine, your crown. We're stretching out our hamstring, our calf. We flex that foot. And maybe if you need to bring the floor a little closer, if you don't have blocks, maybe you can use weights. Maybe you have shoe boxes to just put a little light support on, just something to bring the floor up, even just towels. We'll bend that right knee. We're going to take our hands to frame that right foot. We're going to flip through those left toes and lift that left knee up for this low lunge. We're going to kick this right leg back for a three-legged down dog. We're going to bend and release that heel toward our glute and just find some knee circles. We'll reverse those circles. We'll release our right foot to meet our left, and we're going to take that series on our left side. Inhale as we lift that leg for the three-legged down dog. Exhale, round, knee to nose. Inhale and shoot it back. Exhale, round, knee to nose. Inhale and shoot it back. This time we'll pause with that knee to our nose. Step that left foot between our hands. Come down on that knee. We can release those right toes, or we can keep them into the mat. Maybe we slowly walk our hands up to the top of our knee. And just again, look for that alignment. Knee over ankle. You can see your toes. If not, just walk your toes a little further ahead. We're stretching out our right hip flexor. Maybe we inhale and bring our arms overhead. Exhale those hands to our heart center. We'll pause for that inhale. Exhale, twist through our left waist. Hook that right elbow on the outside of that left knee, bringing our thumbs into our heart center. Inhaling and exhaling. As we unravel, we'll release those hands to the floor, shift our hips back, flex that left foot, and just elongate through our spine, finding a stretch. Maybe we're all the way up on our fingertips, or maybe we're on the palms of our hands. Again, taking the asana wherever you are in the present moment. We're going to bend this left leg, frame that foot with the hands on either side, lift the right knee to that low lunge, press into our hands, shoot our left leg back for three-legged down dog. We're going to bend the knee and release that heel toward our glute and just find that stirring of the knee. We'll reverse. We'll exhale, release that left leg, and then shift our hips back again in down dog, taking 3 breaths. We're going to cast our gaze toward our hands, walk hopper step, keeping our feet hip distance, so 2 fists, keeping any kind of bend in our knees that we need, and letting our spine flow over those hips, releasing our crown of our head to the floor, and maybe our hands hang down to the floor. We grab opposite elbows. We shift our weight slightly in our toes, and we feel like our upper body spilling over, flowing like a waterfall. Inhaling and exhaling. We're opening up and releasing those vertebrae. We'll take one more full breath. We'll release those hands to the floor. Heel toe our feet so our big toes touch. Bend those knees. Inhale as we reverse swan dive up. We'll exhale and pull our hands down to our heart center. We're going to release our hands at our sides and just allow ourselves to find mountain, our Tadasana. We're going to lift our toes, engage those legs fully, pull that belly button toward our spine, spin our pinkies forward, our thumbs back, pull our shoulder blades together, and shift our ears in line with those shoulders. Maybe flutter your eyes closed just to challenge your balance for a few breaths. next inhale, we're going to just inhale our arms overhead. Exhale those hands down to our heart center. We're going to flow through 4 sun salutations today, Surya Namaskar A. As always, you can add or omit whatever you would like as you flow. We'll take the first one slow, and we're just going to add breath to movement. We're warming up our body, and even if each of your flows is completely different, we're allowing ourselves to be present. So take whatever time you need. After our 4th Surya Namaskar A, we'll meet in our Tadasana at the top of our mat, but join me in taking the first flow together. So we'll inhale our arms high to the sky. Exhale as we hinge at those hips, coming all the way down to our forward fold. We'll slide those hands up our shins, shift our weight in our toes, elongate through our spine. We're reaching with our tail and the crown for this halfway lift. Exhale as we melt over those hips. We're going to plant those hands. We're going to hop or step back to that high plank. You always have the option to come to your knees. We're going to lower halfway down to a crocodile or all the way to the floor. If you're ready, you can come pull your heart and chest through and come to your up dog on the tops of your feet, or maybe you're still at cobra. We're going to flip those feet one at a time or roll through our toes, sink back to downward facing dog. We'll take 3 breaths here. Our next inhale, we'll cast those gaze toward our hands. We're going to exhale, hop, step or walk to the top of our mat. Release down in this forward fold. Inhale as we reverse swan dive up. And we're going to goal post or cactus those arms for a heart opener. Inhaling those arms overhead. You can flow with me or find your own version. Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale as you halfway lift. Exhale back down, plant those hands, hop or step back. Inhale as you lower halfway down. Exhale as you pull your heart and chest through. Inhale as we push back to downward facing dog. Exhale as we walk, hop or step to our forward fold. Inhale as we reverse swan dive up. Exhale as we goal post or cactus those arms. 2 more times. Flow at your pace. I can always be a pacer. You can follow my movements and breath, or you find your own. After your 4th flow, we'll meet in our Tadasana. Maybe you've found that Ujjayi breath. As you exhale, it sounds like a hissing or an ocean wave at the back of your throat. That's our breath that warms us from the inside out. Once you meet in Tadasana, just take 5 breaths. As we find ourselves here in our Tadasana, we get ready to move through our asanas. Allow yourself again to release all self-judgment and competition. Take any modifications that you may need. And maybe if you would like to express your asana further than I'm guiding, if that's in your practice, please take the opportunity. So we're going to inhale our arms overhead. Exhale as we forward fold. Inhale as we slide those hands up for that halfway lift. Exhale as you melt over, plant those hands, hop or step back to that high plank. We'll lower halfway down, pull our heart and chest through for that upward facing dog. Exhale back to our downward facing dog. We're going to inhale that right leg high. Exhale that knee to your nose and find that rounding and pause. And then when you come to that next exhale, step that right foot through for our low lunge. And just take a moment here to breathe and stretch out that left hip flexor. Maybe you're just taking a few organic movements to help you find that stretch. We'll move that left hand on the inside of that right foot. We're going to pull our inner thighs together and we're going to find a revolving lunge twist. So we'll extend that right arm to the sky, pulling those inner thighs toward each other. We'll take 3 breaths here. We'll sweep that right hand back to find our low lunge again. We're going to walk our hands over to the left side to find our wide leg forward fold. We'll slightly turn those toes in, our heels out, just to find comfort for our knees. We're finding our hands at that halfway lift, elongating through our spine, shifting our weight in our toes. Now as we exhale, we're just going to let our upper body melt over those hips, and we'll find 4 breaths here. Just finding this inversion, reversing our blood flow. We'll take one more full cycle of our breath, and then we're going to press our hands into the mat and find that halfway lift again. Again, making sure that we're not tweaking those knees. We're going to find our elbows pointing back toward our hips. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our knees and our elbows. And then we're going to inhale, push into the floor, straightening those arms and legs. Exhale as we bend toward the floor. Inhale as we push away. One more time. Exhale, bend. Inhale, push away. We're going to exhale again. Melt over. Find this wide leg forward fold, the crown of our head releasing toward the floor. Weight coming toward our toes, maybe so much so that our heels slightly lift. We can take our hands, slide them out toward our ankles to find a bind. And just breathe here, finding 4 breaths. We're going to slide our hands back to that center, find that halfway lift, walk our hands toward that right foot back to the front of our mat for that low lunge. We're going to plant our hands on either side of that right foot, step that right foot back for that high plank. Pause for a breath here. Now as we exhale, we're just going to hinge at our hips to down dog. We're going to take this on our left side. So we'll inhale our left leg high. Exhale that knee to our nose and round and pause. We'll step our left foot through for our low lunge and just take that few breaths. Feel that stretch. Release in the right hip flexor. We'll bring that right hand on the inside of that left foot. Pull those inner thighs together. Engage that core. And we're going to twist and revolve open here in our low lunge, extending that left arm to the sky. Finding 3 breaths. We'll sweep that left hand back down to the floor. We're going to walk ourselves now toward our right, finding that wide leg forward fold. Slightly turning, toes in, heels out, weight shifting toward our toes. We're at that halfway lift, arms straighten. We're going to exhale and melt over. Just let the crown of our head reach toward the floor. Our upper bodies
flowing over our hips like a waterfall. Just find that breath. We're going to find ourselves at that halfway lift again. And we're going to move through that bend and straighten. So as we exhale, bend those knees and those elbows. And then press away and straighten both. Exhale as we bend. Inhale as we press away and straighten. One more time. Exhale, bend. Inhale and straighten. We're going to melt over. We can find that same bind by sliding the hands to the ankles, or we can reach around. Interlace those fingers, press those palms together, extend those elbows straight. And now we're letting those hands flow over our back. Letting gravity open our heart, our chest, our shoulders, the crown of our head releasing toward the floor. We'll take 2 more breaths here. We'll release that bind on our hands. We'll bring our hands back down to the floor. Find that halfway lift before we start to walk back toward that left foot for that low lunge. We're going to step that left foot back to a plank. We can always shift to down dog, or we can flow through a chaturanga, dandasana, cobra, or up dog. We'll meet in down dog. We'll take 3 breaths here. We're going to cast our gaze toward our hands, walk, hop, or step. Exhale as you melt over this forward fold. Inhale as you bend those knees and reverse swan dive up. Exhale those hands down into our heart center. We're going to bring our big toes to touch, a space between our heels. Feel a connection between our knees and our inner thighs. We'll inhale our arms overhead. Exhale our hands down through our heart center and sit in our chair. Pressing those legs together, acting as one, bringing our knees back toward our ankles, shifting our weight in our heels. Maybe our toes lift from the floor. As you exhale, sink those hips an inch deeper, firing up that ujjayi breath, letting that ocean wave or hissing sound at the back of your throat. Next, inhale, sweep your arms high to the sky in this high salute. Take a mini back bend. We'll exhale those hands down to our heart center and sit in our chair again. Finding that breath, we're just warming up the big muscles of our legs, firing up warmth from the inside out. Exhale and sink those hips an inch deeper here in your chair. Next, inhale, sweep your arms overhead for that high salute mini back bend. Exhale back into your chair one more time. We're now at our deepest level of our chair. The next exhale, we're going to twist to our right. Exhale and hook that left elbow on the outside of that right knee. Go look down and make sure your knees are in alignment. The one isn't pulling in front of each other. We bring our thumbs toward our heart center. And as we exhale, we twist a little deeper, dropping our hips below those knees. We'll inhale back to center. As we exhale, we'll twist to the left. Hook this right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Bring those thumbs toward your heart center and twist as you exhale. We're going to inhale back to center. Sweep those arms overhead. Take that high salute. Exhale our hands down into our heart center. We're going to inhale our left leg into a one-legged Tadasana. Flex that foot and just find your breath. Find a focal point. We're finding a little balance here. And now as we exhale, we're going to start to hinge forward. Extend that left foot back. Take our arms at our side for those airplane arms. Then we'll set this left foot down as we bend the right knee and find crescent lunge with airplane arms. Slide our shoulder blades down our back and find your breath. Inhaling and exhaling.
Next inhale, we're going to inhale our arms overhead, and we'll slide our shoulder blades down our back. We're going to sweep our hands behind our back, interlace those fingers, press those palms together, roll our shoulders back, slide them down, and straighten those elbows, opening our heart and chest. We'll release that bind, inhaling our arms overhead, and exhale and pull our hands to our heart center. We're going to find a crescent lunge twist. We're going to twist to our right. We can keep our hands at prayer, or maybe we extend our arms, our wings wide, pulling those inner thighs together. We're going to inhale and bring our right arm back up for crescent lunge. And we're going to turn toward our left. We're going to sweep that right hand in front of our left, open up for our star. Find that mini back bend. Spread those fingers wide. Just open up here. Breathing. Feeling energy coming into your body. Feeling the sense of being present in the moment. As we take that next inhale, we're going to turn our right toes to the front of our mat and make our way to our Virabhadrasana 2, our Warrior 2. So we press in the outer edge, knife edge of that left foot, which is parallel to the back of our mat. Our right knee is in line with that right ankle. We can see our toes. We shift our shoulders over our hips, slide those shoulder blades down our back, and then extend our arms long, reaching with our middle fingers in opposite direction. Finding that gaze going past that right middle finger. Inhaling and exhaling here. Flowing with our breath. We're going to drop the left hand. We're going to flip our right palm and just reverse our warrior, keeping our legs exactly as they are. Finding our breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. Our next exhale, we'll cartwheel our hands down, turn our left toes for that low lunge. We're going to plant our hands down into the mat. We're going to shoot this right leg back to that three-legged down dog. We'll bend that right heel toward our glute and just open up our hip. We'll point that right knee down toward the floor. Release that right foot. We're going to take this on our left side, but first we'll take 3 breaths here in our down dog. Inhaling and exhaling. Our next inhale, we'll inhale our gaze toward the front of our mat. We're going to walk, hop, or step. Exhale as we melt over in our forward fold. Inhale as we reverse Swan Dive up. We'll pull those hands through our heart center. We're going to take this now on our left side. Inhaling our arms overhead. Feel those hands to our heart center. Sit in our deepest chair. Slightly tucking that tailbone. As we exhale, we'll twist to our right. Hook that left elbow. Press into those palms. Exhale as you twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale as we twist to our left, hooking that right elbow. Bring those thumbs to your heart center. We'll come back to our center. Inhale up to that high salute. Exhale those hands down to our heart center. We're going to inhale this right leg to our one-legged Tadasana. Find that gaze, your balance. Engage your belly button toward your spine. We're going to start to float our hands back to airplane. Hinge forward. Slowly start to release that right leg back. We'll set it down. Find our crescent with airplane arms. Flowing with our breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. Next inhale, We'll float our arms overhead. Exhale, sink into that left knee, into our crescent. We're going to reach around, interlace those fingers the opposite way, press those palms together, roll our shoulders back, extend those elbows straight, and open our heart, finding our breath. We're going to inhale our arms back over center. Exhale down to that heart center. We're going to twist to our left. Maybe we stay here in prayer, pulling those inner thighs together. Maybe we expand our wings out, reaching in opposite directions. We'll bring those hands back into our heart center. We're going to unravel, float those arms overhead. We're going to make our way now to our right side, sweeping that left arm in front of our right, finding that star, opening up. Again, feeling that energy come into your body as you're reaching and opening. We're going to turn our left toes toward the front of our mat. Find our Virabhadrasana 2, our Warrior 2. Pressing the outer edge of that right foot that's parallel to the back of the mat. Left knee in line with the left ankle. You can see those toes. Shift your hips or your shoulders back over your hips. We'll roll them down our back and then extend our arms, reaching those middle fingers for our Warrior 2. Just sinking into this first Warrior 2 on the left side. We're going to drop that right hand, flip that left palm, keep our legs where they are, and just reverse our warrior, finding an opening in our left side here. Inhaling and exhaling. We're going to cartwheel those hands down to that low lunge. Press into the mat, shoot that left leg back, finding that three-legged down dog. We'll bend that left heel toward our glute, open our hip. We'll point that left knee down toward the floor. Release that left foot in our downward facing dog. We'll take 5 breaths here in down dog. Maybe you can come down to your knees and find your child's pose. Take a little weight off those wrists. Just inhaling and exhaling. Take one more breath. So if you're in your child's pose, make your way back up to downward facing dog. We're going to walk, hop, or step those feet to the top of our mat. Exhale as we melt over and forward fold. Inhale as we bend those knees and reverse swan dive up. We'll exhale and pull those hands down through our heart center. And just take 3 breaths in your Tadasana. We're going to find that flow one more time, just maybe adding a few variations. You can always stay with the same version. Again, honoring and being present for whatever you need in the current moment. So we're going to take that next inhale. Inhale our arms overhead. Exhale and sit in that chair. Stay for our inhale. As we exhale, twist to the right. Hook that left elbow. Inhale back to center. Exhale as we twist to the left, hooking that right elbow. Inhale back to center. We'll inhale, sweep those arms overhead, straighten our legs, take that high salute. We'll exhale and pull our hands into our heart center. We're going to inhale that left leg to that one-legged Tadasana. We can make our way back to that crescent with airplane, or we're going to make our way to Warrior 3. So as we start to hinge forward, start to move those arms to the airplane arms, we're shooting that left leg back, leveling those hips, flexing that left foot, and finding our breath here in our Warrior 3 with airplane arms. We're We're going to slowly bend that right knee and set that left foot down. We'll sweep those arms up overhead for crescent. We're going to reach around, interlace those fingers, press those palms together, roll those shoulders back, open our heart. We'll float those arms back overhead. Exhale those hands to our heart center. Twist to the right. Maybe we extend those wings. We'll sweep back up to our crescent. We're going to make our way to our star. Turning toward our left, sweep that right hand in front of our left. Reach, open up, find our star here. Turn those right toes toward the front of our mat. Sink down into your warrior two. We'll drop this left hand or reach around for that right inner thigh for a bind. Flip that right hand, reverse your warrior. We'll cartwheel those hands down to that low lunge. We'll step this right foot back. Exhale to your down dog. We're going to cast our gaze toward the front of our mat. Walk, hop, or step. Exhale as you melt over. Inhale as you reverse swan dive up. We'll pull those hands through our heart center. We're going to take this on our left side. Inhale those arms overhead. Exhale those hands through our heart center. Sit in that chair. Pause for your inhale as you exhale. Twist to the right. Hook that left elbow. Inhale to center. Exhale and twist to the left. Hooking that right elbow. Inhale to center. Straighten those legs. Inhale up. Exhale those hands to our heart center. We're going to inhale and lift this right leg. One-legged Tadasana. We're either going to hinge and find that Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3, or we're going to find that high crescent with the airplane arms. So slow and controlled, start to extend that right leg back, find those airplane arms. If you're in your Warrior 3, flex that right foot, find your gaze out in front of you, down on the floor, and find your breath. We're going to bend that left knee, set that right foot down, inhaling our arms overhead. Exhale and sink. We're going to sweep those hands behind our back. Interlace our fingers the opposite way. Extend those elbows straight. Open our heart. Float those arms overhead. Exhale down to our heart center. Twist to the left. Maybe you extend those wings. We're going to float those arms back up. We're going to start to turn toward our right. Sweep that left hand in front of our right. Find that star pose, that opening. We're going to find our warrior two, turning our left toes toward the front of the mat. Now we're going to reverse that warrior. Drop that right hand or reach around for that left inner thigh. Flip that left palm and reverse. Just opening up here on your left side body. Exhale as we find that low lunge. We're going to step this left foot back. And we're just going to release it down to the floor. Finding our downward facing dog. Finding that breath. We can always come down to our knees. Shift back to our child's pose. We're taking either in down dog or child's pose 5 breaths. Take one more breath. If we're in that child's pose, make our way up to that downward facing dog. We'll cast our gaze. We're going to walk, hop, or step those feet to the top of the mat. Exhale as we forward fold. Inhale as we reverse swan dive up. We'll pull those hands into our heart center, and we'll take 3 breaths in our Tadasana. next inhale, we'll inhale our arms overhead. Exhale as we melt over and forward fold. We're going to take that halfway lift. Exhale as we melt over. We're going to plant these hands, hop or step back. We'll flow through a Chaturanga Dandasana, Cobra or Up Dog. We'll exhale and meet back in Down Dog. We're going to inhale this right foot high. Exhale as we bring that knee into our nose, step it through. We'll step this left foot up for Warrior One, a 45-degree angle. We'll engage that core. Inhale as we float those arms overhead. Maybe taking our hands at our hip, bringing this right hip back, left hip forward. Knit those ribs, float those hands back overhead, and just find your breath. We're going to reach around, interlace those fingers, press those palms together, open our heart. And now as we exhale, we're going to hinge forward, hover that right shoulder for our humble warrior. Maybe we release our neck and take the gaze back toward that left foot. Inhaling and exhaling. We're going to inhale, back up, release those hands back overhead, sinking down into this right knee for our Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. Now, sweep those hands down to the mat. We're going to turn on that back left foot, finding our low lunge again. We're going to walk our hands over toward the left, finding that wide leg forward fold. We're going to bend those knees and elbows as we exhale. Inhale as we push away and straighten. Exhale as we bend those knees. Inhale as we push away and straighten. One more time, we're just going to bend those knees and elbows and hold here. We're going to bring our hands to our heart center, and then we're just going to lift our upper body, finding our goddess pose, knees and toes in alignment. So exhale as we pull those inner thighs together. We're going to release our hands to our thighs and find some shoulder dips. Exhale as we dip that right shoulder to our center. Inhale as we open. Exhale as we dip that left. Inhale, open. 2 more times each side. Inhale, open. Left shoulder. 1 more on our right. Back to center. 1 more on our left. Back to center. We're just going to turn and bring the right toes toward the front of our mat for our Warrior 2. We're going to reach those middle fingers in opposite direction. We're going to reverse that warrior by dropping that back arm or reach around for the bind. Flip that right palm and just open that right side body here in your reverse warrior. We're going to exhale, cartwheel our hands down for that low lunge. And we're either going to take a kneeling side plank or just our side plank. So we're going to bring that left hand on the inside of that right foot. You can drop down to that left knee, or we just sweep our right leg around. Maybe we stack those feet on top of each other, maybe right in front of left. Maybe you slightly lift that right foot, finding your variation, inhaling and exhaling. We're going to cast our gaze down toward that left hand. Bring our right hand down. Find that high plank. We're going to lower ourselves all the way down to the mat, brushing those elbows along our ribs. We're going to turn to the tops of our feet, and we're going to find our locust pose. So we're going to take our arms along our side. We'll rest on our chin. We're going to use those back muscles. We'll lift our upper body. And if it feels comfortable, we can hover those feet an inch or two. So as we take an inhale, start to inhale, lift your heart, chest, your crown, your gaze is down the front edge of your mat. Your feet can be 2 inches, 3 inches off the mat. Slide your shoulders down. You feel like you're pressing balls into the outside of your legs. If you feel any crunching on your low back, slightly open your feet a little wider, or just release your feet and just work through your upper back as we inhale and exhale. We'll take 3 more breaths. We're going to release our upper and lower body down. Take the backs of our hands to the mat and turn to our left cheek. And just rock those hips side to side. We're going to take our hands at the tops of our ribs. We're either going to come up to that kneeling plank or come up to high plank by lifting our knees, coming onto our toes, pushing ourselves into the mat and shifting back. Our downward facing dog. We'll take 3 breaths till we move to our left side. Next, inhale this left foot high. Exhale that knee to our nose. We're going to step our left foot between our hands. Step our right foot up to that 45-degree angle, finding that Virabhadrasana 1 footing, Warrior 1. Float our arms overhead. Take a moment, adjust those hips, left hip back, right hip forward. Inhaling our arms back overhead, sink down into this left knee. We're going to reach around, interlace our fingers the opposite way, press our palms together, roll our shoulders back, straighten those elbows, and now as we exhale, hinge forward to our humble warrior, hovering the left shoulder over the left knee. Release the neck if it's comfortable. Gaze at that right foot, finding your breath. We're going to come back up, release our mind and our hands, float those hands overhead, exhaling as we hinge forward and turn those back toes to find that low lunge. We're going to walk ourselves to the right side of our mat, finding that wide leg forward fold, but protect those knees. Find that halfway lift in the center. We're going to exhale and we're going to bend those elbows and knees, and then we're going to press away and straighten. Next time, exhale and bend. Inhale and straighten. This next time we're going to pause as we bend those elbows and knees. We'll bring our hands to prayer. We're going to keep our lower body where it is and just lift our upper body to our goddess. Sink down into those hips. Inhaling and exhaling. We're going to release our hands at our thighs. We'll dip this left shoulder to center. Inhale back open. Dip that right shoulder. Inhale back open. 2 more. Left shoulder will come to center. Then our right shoulder back to center. Left. One last time. Inhale to center. Then the right. Inhale back to center. We're going to turn those left toes and parallel that right foot, finding our warrior 2. Sink down into that left knee. We'll drop this back hand to reach around for that left inner thigh. Flip that left hand, reverse our warrior. Exhale as we cartwheel those hands down to our low lunge. We can come to that kneeling side plank or bring that right hand on the inside of the left foot. Sweep that left foot open, finding our side plank. Breathing, either stacking those feet, left foot in front of our right, or we can hover that left foot. We're reaching our left side body to the sky. We're going to cast our gaze down toward that right hand. Start to reach that left hand. Find that plank. Either come to your knees or push those elbows along your ribs, lowering all the way down to the floor. We're going to find ourselves back into that locust. But maybe finding a different variation. We'll rest on our chin. We'll reach around, interlace those fingers, bind those hands by pressing those palms together. Now as we inhale, lift our heart, shoulders, our feet, our elbows, extend straight. We're opening our heart and chest a little deeper, flowing with our breath. We'll take 2 more breaths here in our locust pose. We're going to release that bind in our hands. Bring the backs of our palms to the floor. We'll turn to that right cheek and just melt down into the mat. Shift those hips side to side. We're going to bring our hands right at the tops of our ribs. We're just going to push ourselves back into our child's pose. So releasing those hips and sits bones back toward our heels. Extend our arms out in front of us and just find your breath here. Inhaling and exhaling for 5 breaths. We're going to make our way up to those hands and knees from our child's pose. And we're just going to sweep those feet out of our way. We're going to make our way down to our back. We'll meet with our knees into our chest in our Apanasana. We'll take those hands just below the knees. And then maybe we find a gentle rock side to side, releasing that low back. We'll release our feet down to the floor. We're going to flow through a few bridge poses. So we'll take our heels just about 3 to 4 inches from our glutes. We'll take our hands, our palms down into the mat at our sides. We press into those forearms. We engage and tone that belly. And now we press into those feet. And as we inhale, we start with our tailbone, peeling 1 vertebra at a time off our mat, making our way up as high as we can on our spine. Take that natural pause, and then as you exhale, imprint each vertebra back down into the mat. We'll take 3 more flows. Our pace, our breath, articulating through our spine. Each exhale you imprint 1 at a time back down into the mat. On your last flow, hold yourself up in your bridge at the top. So as we meet at the top of this last bridge, we're going to either stay here or slowly walk our shoulders in, start to bring the palms of our hands together, interlace those fingers, press those palms together, and find a heart opener. Either flutter your eyes closed or your gazers up toward the sky. Our knees are in line with our hips, and we just flow with our breath, inhaling and exhaling through our center. We're finding our presence. We'll release that bind in our hands. Take those palms back down into the mat, and as you exhale, slowly imprint each vertebra at a time down into the mat. We'll slowly bring 1 knee at a time back into our chest. We're going to sit those feet back down on the floor, and we're going to open up our hips by finding our supine pigeon or supine figure 4. So we're going to inhale our right knee into our chest. We're going to open that knee wider than our hip. Take that right ankle below that left knee. You will flex that right foot, and we can stay here. Or we can start to bend into that left knee, pulling it into our chest. We'll thread our right hand through, left hand on the outside, interlace those fingers, flex the left foot, soften your shoulders, and use that left knee to guide open that right outer hip. So we're using our left leg strength rather than our arm strength to bring that left knee closer and open that right outer hip, and we're just breathing and releasing any last bit of tension in that right outer hip. We'll take 2 more breaths. We're going to release that bind. We'll set our left foot down on the floor. We're going to goal post those arms, and we're going to find our figure 4 leg twist. So we're going to roll on the outer edge of the left foot, start to guide the right sole of our foot down to the floor. We're keeping that right shoulder blade down on the mat. We feel that twist and opening through our right side body. Inhaling and exhaling. Next inhale, roll back onto the sole of that left foot. We'll bring our right foot down to meet our left. And we're going to take that supine figure 4 or pigeon. Now bending that left knee into our chest, opening that left knee wider than our hip, taking that left ankle below the right knee, flexing that left foot. Maybe you just stay here. Otherwise, we can thread that left hand between our legs, right hand on the outside, lift that right foot off the floor, interlace those fingers the opposite way, flex that right foot. Now, soften those shoulders again, and then when you exhale, bring that right knee into your chest. We're opening up our left outer hip. Inhaling and exhaling. Each exhale, that right knee may come a little closer to your chest. Feel that tension melting away from that left outer hip. We'll take 2 more breaths. We may be using that sinking breath, that elongated exhale. Last breath here. We'll release that bind, set that right foot down on the floor, goal post those arms, and now we're going to roll onto the right outer edge, taking the left sole of our foot over to the floor, keeping that left shoulder blade pinned down. Now we feel a twist on our left side, an opening in those ribs. Finding our breath. Each exhale, we release a little deeper into the twist. We'll take 1 more breath. We're going to roll back on to the right foot. Release that left leg, sit it down next to our right. We'll bring both knees into our chest. We're going to open our knees wider than our hips. Keep those knees bent, but extend the soles of our feet to the sky. We're going to find happy baby, reaching on the inside, the outside of our soles of our feet, peace fingers around our big toes. As we exhale, gently pull those knees toward the floor. We're going to bring that tailbone back down, and we're opening those hips, inner thighs. Maybe we take a gentle rock, side to side. Just releasing, letting ourselves come back again to the safety and security of that childlike state. Just breathing. We'll take 2 more breaths here. We're going to release bind on those feet. We'll take our hands on the outside of those knees, bring those knees together. We're going to bring those knees into our chest, wrap our forearms around those knees. We'll keep our upper body released down into the mat, but we're going to pull our knees in. This is our wind releasing pose. We'll take a big, deep inhale through our nose and just exhale everything out through your mouth. We'll take this one more time. Big, deep inhale through your nose. Exhale and release everything out through your mouth. We're going to extend one leg at a time straight. Extend our fingertips in opposite direction, taking a big, deep stretch. Pointing those toes, reaching those fingertips. Whenever you're ready, slowly soften your body. We're going to open our legs as wide as our mat. Take our arms at our sides, palms facing up to receive energy. Palms down for grounding. You soften and flutter those eyes closed. Maybe our eyes are even pointing down toward our heart. We're allowing ourselves here in our final relaxation, our Shavasana, to just completely release and let go. As you find your centering breath, inhaling and exhaling through your nose, just observe, have you created space? Have you been able to open up? So again, softening that space between our brow, letting that tension just roll down toward our temples. We feel the muscles around our eyes relax and release toward our earlobes. We gently bring our tongue away from the roof of our mouth and unclench your jaw. So you completely release and let go of tension in your face. You feel your shoulders slide a little further away from your ears. And then they melt deeper down into your mat. You feel your heart and chest open and ready to receive. You feel each vertebra resting and touching and sinking deeper into your mat. You've created space. So now that extra space in between those vertebrae is releasing gentle roots into your mat. Feeling and working your way all the way down through your spine. Feel each connection of your vertebra as you wake your way down to your hips. You feel the stability, the grounding, the anchoring. Our hips and pelvis are our foundation. Our arms and legs lay effortless at our sides. Our ankles have fallen open, and we feel our fingertips slightly curling. We can feel that sensation of calm radiating through the crown of our head. We find ourselves completely in the present, only noticing that rhythmic flow of our breath. So just allow that lullaby flow of your breath to let that sensation of calm swirl throughout your body and fill in all that extra space. Allowing yourself in your Shavasana as much time as you need or finding presence. So just completely release and follow that lullaby rhythm of your breath, maybe even for a few more minutes. If you're ready to follow me out of Shavasana, we'll just slowly start to wiggle our fingers and our toes. We'll start to let our wrists and ankles join in the movement. We'll slowly bring one knee at a time into our chest. And we'll take whatever time we need to work our way up to a comfortable seat. So once we find our way up to that comfortable seat, we're just going to inhale our arms overhead. Feel that connection of your palms. Exhale those hands down to our heart center. We'll take that one more time. Inhaling those arms high to the sky. Exhaling those hands down to our heart center. Connecting those thumbs at our heart. I'd like to offer you my gratitude for allowing me to join you in your practice. I wish you a week filled with presence